Welcome back to Sleepy English Academy. Today, we'll be learning English through audio listening. So, get comfortable and close your eyes. In a valley nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a tiny village called Willow Creek. Here, amidst the gentle murmur of the Willow River and the rustling of ancient oak trees, lived a little old lady named Ilara. Ilara wasn't your typical grandma. Her hair, the color of spun moonlight, flowed freely down her back, and her eyes sparkled with the warmth of 1,000 fireflies. Ilara was known throughout the village for her incredible talent, weaving dreams. Every night, as the last sliver of sunlight dipped below the horizon, Ilara would sit on her porch swing, her nimble fingers working magic with soft, shimmering threads. These weren't ordinary threads, mind you. They were spun from moonlight, starlight, and whispers of the wind, each one holding the promise of a peaceful slumber. One evening, a young girl named Lily skipped down the path towards Ilara's porch. Lily, with her bright, curious eyes and mop of fiery red hair, often came to Ilara for bedtime stories. But tonight, Lily's brow was furrowed, and her sleep seemed to have flown away like a dandelion puff in the breeze. Ilara, with a knowing smile, patted the space next to her on the swing. "What troubles you, little one?" she asked, her voice as soft as a lullaby. Lily confessed that a big storm was brewing inside her head, filled with worries about an upcoming school play. Ilara chuckled, a sound like wind chimes tinkling in the breeze. "Ah, the storm clouds of worry. We can weave those away with a dream, can't we?" With that, Ilara dipped her hand into a basket overflowing with shimmering threads. She pulled out a strand the color of twilight and began to weave. As she worked, she spoke in a voice as soothing as a babbling brook. "Tonight, Lily," she said, "we'll weave a dream of a vast, starlit stage. You'll stand tall, your voice clear and confident, like a nightingale singing to the moon. The audience will be filled with friendly faces, their smiles brighter than 1,000 fireflies." Lily listened, mesmerized, as Ilara wove the dream with each word. She spoke of supportive friends backstage, of practiced lines echoing flawlessly, and of thunderous applause that would shake the very stars. By the time Ilara finished weaving, the dream shimmered like a luminous web in her hand. "Hold this close," Ilara instructed, placing the dream in Lily's hand. "As you drift off to sleep, let the dream wash over you, calming your worries and filling you with confidence." Lily clutched the dream tightly, feeling its cool, calming touch. With a grateful smile, she skipped back home, her heart lighter and her sleepiness returning. That night, Lily dreamt of her triumphant performance, bathed in the warm glow of the stage lights. She woke up the next morning, the dream's serenity lingering in her heart, replacing the storm clouds with a gentle breeze. And so it went, night after night. Ilara, the weaver of dreams, helped children and grown-ups alike chase away their worries and find restful sleep. With each dream she wove, a tiny bit of magic filled the air of Willow Creek, creating a place where sleep came as easily as a sigh and dreams were as bright as the stars. Now, close your eyes, and imagine Ilara sitting on her porch swing, a basket of shimmering threads beside her. Let the gentle murmur of the Willow River lull you, and feel the cool night air brush your face. Perhaps Ilara is weaving a special dream just for you, a dream filled with peace, serenity, and a good night's sleep. Sweet dreams.
My dear listener, I am new to YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
In the bustling heart of Florence, nestled amidst cobbled streets and towering Renaissance buildings, lived a young baker named Enzo. Enzo's world was a symphony of flour-dusted mornings, the warm embrace of his brick oven, and the sweet aroma of freshly baked bread. But there was a hollowness in his life, a yearning for something more. Across the street, amidst the vibrant chaos of a flower market, lived Sophia, a girl with eyes the color of the Tuscan sky and a smile that could rival the sun. Sophia's days were a kaleidoscope of colors, the delicate touch of petals, and the fragrant whispers of 1,000 blooms. Yet, a silent melody played within her, a longing for a connection beyond the fleeting conversations with customers. One rainy afternoon, Enzo, seeking refuge from the downpour, ducked into Sophia's flower shop. The air hung heavy with the scent of lilies and damp earth. He was captivated not just by the vibrant displays, but by the way Sophia's touch coaxed life back into a wilting rose. Those calloused hands seem more suited for kneading dough, Sophia said with a playful smile, her voice as light and airy as a spring breeze. Enzo chuckled, a blush creeping up his neck. And yours for arranging petals. But isn't there a certain beauty in creation, no matter the material? Their conversation flowed effortlessly, like a babbling brook, weaving its way through shared passions and hidden dreams. Enzo learned of Sophia's love for poetry, and she, in turn, discovered the magic he found in transforming simple flour into edible masterpieces. Days turned into weeks, their encounters becoming a cherished ritual. Enzo would leave a warm loaf of bread at her doorstep, a silent offering of his affection. Sophia, in return, would leave a single, perfect bloom on his counter, a splash of color in his monochrome world. One starlit evening, as Enzo was closing up shop, Sophia appeared, a hesitant smile gracing her lips. "Would you like to walk with me?" she asked. They strolled along the Arno River, the gentle current mirroring the undercurrent of emotion swirling within them. Under the watchful gaze of the Ponte Vecchio bridge, Enzo confessed his feelings, his voice thick with emotion. Sophia, her eyes sparkling with unshed tears, admitted the melody in her heart had finally found its harmony. Their love story wasn't a whirlwind romance, but a slow, steady bloom, nurtured by shared passions and quiet understanding. They found solace in each other's company, a haven from the bustling world outside. Enzo's bread became infused with the subtle fragrance of Sophia's flowers, and her bouquets held a hint of the warmth of his oven. Years passed, their love a constant presence amidst the changing seasons. They weathered life's storms together, their love a sturdy oak tree offering shade and support. Even the wrinkles that etched their faces with time only spoke of a life well lived, a love story woven into the very fabric of their existence. So, the next time you find yourself in Florence, amidst the scent of fresh bread and vibrant blooms, remember the story of Enzo and Sophia. A love story as simple and beautiful as a single, perfect rose, a testament to the enduring power of connection found in the most ordinary of places.
In a kingdom cradled by snow-capped mountains and emerald valleys, reigned King Alastair, a man whose heart was as vast as the rolling plains that stretched beyond his castle walls. Unlike kings of legend, obsessed with gold and glory, Alastair craved the well-being of his people. He wasn't a king who sat upon a throne of ivory, aloof from the concerns of his subjects. Alastair was a king who walked amongst them, his crown often left behind in the castle. He would visit farmers in their fields, listen to the woes of blacksmiths in their workshops, and share laughter with children in the village square. His reign wasn't marked by grand victories in war, but by quiet triumphs. He saw to it that schools were built, not just in the capital, but in every corner of the kingdom. He ensured that roads were maintained, allowing trade and communication to flourish. He established a fair system of justice, where even the poorest peasant could have their voice heard. One harsh winter, a blizzard swept across the land, leaving crops frozen and families shivering in their homes. Alastair, instead of cowering behind the castle walls, rallied his people. He organized the stockpiling of food from the royal reserves, ensured its fair distribution, and even led hunting expeditions to supplement the dwindling supplies. His most trusted advisor, Lord Edgar, a man with a heart as cold as the winter wind, scoffed. "Your Majesty," he hissed, "why deplete your own resources for these peasants? They can fend for themselves." Alastair, his eyes filled with a quiet steel, replied, "A king does not rule over resources, Lord Edgar. He rules over people. And in times of hardship, a king stands with his people, not above them." The winter eventually relented, but the memory of Alastair's compassion lingered. It wasn't just about the food. It was about the shared struggle, the feeling of being part of something bigger, a kingdom united under a king who cared. Years passed, and Alastair grew old, his hair turning as white as the mountain peaks. Yet, his spirit remained young. When a new king was to be chosen, the people, with a single voice, declared their heir. Not a prince or princess, but a young shepherd girl named Ilara. Ilara, raised on tales of King Alastair's wisdom and kindness, had grown into a woman who mirrored his virtues. As she ascended the throne, she did so with a heavy heart, for Alastair lay on his deathbed. He reached out a frail hand, his voice a mere whisper. "My child," he rasped. "Remember, a king's true crown is not made of gold, but of the love and respect of his people." Ilara, tears welling in her eyes, nodded. "I will never forget, Your Majesty." King Alistair closed his eyes, a faint smile gracing his lips. He had not left behind a kingdom of riches, but a legacy of love, a testament to a king who ruled not with an iron fist, but with a compassionate heart. His reign became a beacon, a reminder that true power lies not in conquest, but in the well-being of those you rule.
Maya clutched her worn copy of A Wrinkle in Time to her chest, its dog-eared pages a testament to countless readings. Stepping into the bustling halls of Oakwood Middle School, she felt a familiar knot of nervousness tighten in her stomach. Math class loomed large on her schedule, a subject that felt like a tangled jungle compared to the fantastical worlds she loved to lose herself in. As she navigated the sea of lockers, a voice boomed, "Maya, over here." It was her best friend, Alex, a whirlwind of energy with a perpetual grin. Alex, unlike Maya, thrived on the school environment, his locker adorned with doodles and sporting team stickers. He greeted her with a fist bump, his excitement contagious. "Guess what? There's a rumor that Ms. Garcia might be taking us on a field trip to the Science Museum for the Space Exploration Unit." Alex's eyes sparkled. Maya's own eyes widened. A field trip to the Science Museum? That meant seeing the real-life model of the spaceship they were learning about in class. Maybe, just maybe, this wouldn't be another boring math lesson translated into the world of science. The day crawled by until it was finally time for Ms. Garcia's class. A petite woman with a passion for astronomy, Ms. Garcia confirmed the rumor, sending a wave of excited murmurs through the classroom. Maya, usually quiet in class, couldn't help but blurt out, "That's amazing, Ms. Garcia." A smile bloomed on Ms. Garcia's face. "It is, Maya. And who knows, maybe on this trip, we'll discover a future astronaut amongst us." The weeks leading up to the field trip were filled with a renewed energy in class. Math lessons on calculating trajectories and physics lectures on gravity suddenly held meaning. Maya found herself participating in discussions, her voice no longer a timid whisper. Even the classroom walls seemed to recede as they delved into the vastness of space. The day of the field trip arrived, and the bus buzzed with anticipation. At the museum, Maya and Alex stood in awe beneath the massive model of the spaceship. Maya imagined herself strapped in, soaring through the cosmos. A newfound confidence sparked within her. Back in class, Ms. Garcia announced a project: design a model solar system. This time, Maya wasn't daunted. She teamed up with Alex, their combined creativity leading to a dazzling display complete with glowing planets and informative labels. As they presented their project to the class, Maya felt a thrill she hadn't experienced before. It wasn't just the good grade, but the realization that with a little push, she could navigate the challenging subjects too. School, she began to see, wasn't just about tests and textbooks. It was a launchpad for discovery, a place where friendships blossomed and knowledge became a thrilling adventure. Leaving school that day, the familiar knot in Maya's stomach was replaced by a flutter of excitement. Maybe, just maybe, school wasn't so bad after all. In fact, it might just hold the key to unlocking a universe of possibilities.
Amora wasn't born a hero. She wasn't sculpted from marble or forged in fire. Amora was a tinker, a girl who could coax whirring contraptions from scrap metal and breathe life into discarded gears. Her workshop, nestled in the bustling underbelly of Zenith City, was a symphony of clangs and whirs, a testament to her ingenuity. Zenith City, once a beacon of innovation, was now choked by the smog of the Ever Factory. The megalithic structure, belching smoke and churning out mindless automatons, loomed over the city like a metallic leviathan. The tyrannical warden, who controlled the Ever Factory, used his automaton army to enforce his rule, crushing any dissent under their iron boots. One fateful day, a ragged figure stumbled into Amora's workshop. It was Kai, a resistance fighter, his face etched with desperation. The warden was planning a final, devastating attack, a mechanical onslaught that would crush the remnants of the rebellion. Amora, never one to back down from a challenge, agreed to help. But weapons weren't her forte. Instead, she spent days and nights poring over dusty schematics and discarded blueprints. Finally, a plan sparked in her mind, as intricate and audacious as one of her contraptions. The night of the attack arrived. Kai led a daring raid on the Ever factory, while Amora, hidden within its metallic belly, infiltrated the control center. There, amidst a tangle of wires and whirring gears, she found the central core, the heart of the automaton army. But guarding it was a hulking automaton, its crimson eyes glowing with malevolent intelligence. A fight ensued, a clash of metal against human resilience. Amora, using her agility and knowledge of the factory's inner workings, dodged the automaton's blows. Finally, she saw her chance. With a well-placed wrench, she jammed the core, overloading its circuits. Sparks flew as the control center sputtered, its red glow dimming. The automaton, its connections severed, crumpled to the ground. Back in the city, the automatons faltered, their movements sluggish. The rebellion fighters, emboldened, seized the moment. The battle raged, but the tide had turned. Without their central control, the automatons were nothing but mindless machines. By morning, the smoke of battle cleared. The Ever factory stood silent, a testament to Amora's ingenuity. The warden was apprehended, his reign of terror finally over. Amora, the unassuming tinker, emerged as the hero of Zenith City. Not with a sword or a shield, but with a mind that could outwit a machine and a heart that refused to surrender. Her story became a beacon of hope, a reminder that heroism can bloom in the most unexpected places, a testament to the power of human ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds.
In the heart of Whispering Woods, where sunlight dripped through ancient leaves and moss draped everything in emerald velvet, lived a community of sleepies. Unlike their human counterparts, sleepies weren't known for their love of naps, though they were excellent at those too. No, sleepies were the guardians of slumber, their very essence woven into the fabric of dreams. Their fur, the color of twilight fading into dusk, shimmered with a soft luminescence that lulled even the most restless creatures into peaceful sleep. Among these sleep-inducing experts lived a young sleepy named Luna. Luna was different. While her friends dozed contentedly under oversized toadstools, their soft snores a comforting symphony throughout the burrow, Luna buzzed with a restless energy. Her big, curious eyes often peeked out at the forest bathed in moonlight, yearning for a glimpse of the world beyond their slumber-filled haven. One particularly bright night, Luna's curiosity reached a fever pitch. Unable to resist the call of the glistening moonbeams, she tiptoed out of the sleepy burrow. The forest was a magical tapestry woven with moonlight and fireflies flitting like miniature stars. Mesmerized, Luna followed a particularly luminous firefly deeper into the woods, its tiny light guiding her like a beacon. The firefly led Luna to a hidden clearing bathed in the ethereal glow of the full moon. In the center, nestled amidst a bed of emerald ferns, bloomed a flower unlike anything Luna had ever seen. Its petals, the color of soft, comforting dreams, pulsed with a gentle luminescence. As Luna cautiously approached, a voice, like the rustling of 1,000 leaves in the night breeze, whispered, "Welcome, little sleepy." Luna froze, startled. The flower, as if sensing her apprehension, whispered again, "It's all right. It's me, the moon shadow bloom. I haven't spoken to anyone in ages." Hesitantly, Luna introduced herself. The moonshadow bloom unfolded its petals a little wider, revealing a mesmerizing center that seemed to shimmer with captured moonlight. With a voice that whispered of ancient secrets, the bloom relayed stories of the moon, of shooting stars arcing across the night sky, and sleeping constellations that guarded the dreams of the world. Luna, captivated, shared tales of the sleepy burrow, their gentle snores a soothing lullaby against the symphony of the forest. As the moon dipped low, casting long shadows across the clearing, the moonshadow bloom began to lose its luminescence. "I only bloom and speak under the full moon's light," it sighed, its voice tinged with sadness. Luna's heart sank. "Can't I see you again?" she asked, a tremor in her voice. The moonshadow bloom chuckled, a sound like rustling leaves tickled by a playful wind. "Little sleepy, you hold the key within you." It then explained to Luna about the special sleep dust sleepies released as they slumbered. This magical dust, lighter than dandelion fluff and shimmering like moonlight itself, nurtured the magic in the forest. If you can sleep deeply under the next full moon, gathering more sleep dust than ever before, you can reawaken me, the bloom promised. Hope surged through Luna. Finally, a way to bridge the gap between her love for sleep and her insatiable curiosity. With renewed energy, Luna bade farewell to the moon shadow bloom and hurried back to the burrow. Her sleepy friends were just waking up, their fur ruffled and their eyes sparkling with the afterglow of a peaceful sleep. Luna, filled with a purpose she hadn't known before, snuggled under her favorite giant toadstool. This wasn't just sleep anymore, it was a mission. Closing her eyes, Luna envisioned the moon shadow bloom, its petals bathed in moonlight. Soon, her gentle snores filled the burrow, a magical melody weaving a path between slumber and the wondrous secrets of the forest. Weeks flew by, filled with anticipation. Luna kept her promise to herself, sleeping deeply each night, gathering more sleep dust than any sleepy had ever dreamed possible. Finally, the night of the next full moon arrived. Luna, her heart pounding with excitement, dashed towards the hidden clearing. There, bathed in the soft glow of the full moon, stood the moon shadow bloom, its petals aglow once more, vibrant and pulsating with ethereal light. "Thank you, Luna," it whispered, its voice filled with gratitude. "Your dedication and deep sleep have reawakened the magic of the forest." From that day forward, Luna became the bridge between the sleepy burrow and the moonlit wonders beyond. Each full moon, she slept deeply, gathering the sleep dust that fueled the magic of the moon shadow bloom. In return, the bloom regaled her with stories of the moon and the secrets it held close. Luna, the once restless sleepy, finally found her calling, proving that even the smallest sleepy could hold the greatest magic within.
In the wind-battered city of Etheria, nestled amidst colossal, gear-driven cliffs, lived Anya, a tinker with grease under her fingernails and a glint of rebellion in her eyes. Etheria ran on anima, a mystical energy harnessed from the colossal machines that groaned and clanked around the city. Anya, however, felt a growing unease with the ruling council's control over anima. Only the elite had access to its purest form, leaving the slums where Anya resided choked with exhaust and fumes. One stormy night, scavenging for spare parts, Anya stumbled upon a hidden chamber within a derelict anima machine. Inside, she found a shimmering blue core, unlike any she'd seen before. As she touched it, a surge of energy coursed through her, unlocking a hidden map etched within her mind. It depicted a forgotten anima wellspring, rumored to hold the purest anima ever discovered. Anya knew this was her chance to change Etheria's fate. But the journey was fraught with peril. The Obsidian Guard, the Council's enforcers, patrolled the wastelands ruthlessly. Anya needed help. She confided in Kai, a stoic salvage runner with a knack for navigating treacherous landscapes. Kai, fueled by a personal vendetta against the Council, agreed to help. Their journey took them across treacherous canyons choked with sand and scrap metal, and through shadowed ruins where forgotten machines lurked. Anya's connection to the anima core grew stronger, granting her visions and strange abilities. She could manipulate scrap metal with her mind, forming makeshift shields and weapons. Kai, impressed by her newfound prowess, trained her in combat. They faced many challenges. They were ambushed by sand pirates, ruthless scavengers who preyed on the weak. They encountered malfunctioning guardian robots from a bygone era. Anya's visions guided them through crumbling tunnels and hidden passageways. Finally, they reached the wellspring, a crystal-clear lake nestled within a dormant volcano. As Anya dipped her hand in, a wave of pure anima surged through her. She felt a connection to the very core of Etheria, understanding the anima's flow like a symphony. But the Council, alerted by Anya's tampering with the machines, descended upon them. A fierce battle ensued. Kai, wielding his salvaged weapons, and Anya, using her newfound anima abilities, fought back the Obsidian Guard. In the heat of the battle, Anya realized the true power wasn't just hers, it belonged to the people. With a surge of anima, she channeled the wellspring's energy outwards, a beacon that pulsed across the wastelands. The surge resonated with the anima-starved citizens of Etheria. From the slums, a tide of people rose, empowered by the echo of the wellspring. They stormed the city, overwhelming the Council's forces. Anya and Kai, hailed as heroes, led the charge. In the aftermath, the council was overthrown. Etheria transitioned into a new era, where anima flowed freely, powering the city and its people. Anya, no longer a tinker in the shadows, became a leader, using her connection to the wellspring to guide Etheria into a brighter future. Kai, forever loyal, stood by her side, a silent guardian. But the story doesn't end there. Whispers spoke of other dormant anima wellsprings, scattered across the wastelands. A new legend was born, the legend of Anya, the anima weaver, and her quest to liberate the hidden potential of her world.
In the quaint seaside town of Coral Bay lived Maya, a budding marine biologist with a head full of dreams and a heart full of worry. Her research on the dwindling coral reefs was groundbreaking, but funding was scarce, and the weight of the ocean's health rested heavily on her shoulders. Her solace came in the form of her childhood friend, Finn. Unlike Maya, all sunshine and boundless energy, Finn was a lighthouse keeper, calm and steady. He understood the rhythm of the sea, the way it mirrored the quiet strength within him. They'd spent countless hours exploring tide pools, Finn patiently explaining the ecosystem to a wide-eyed Maya, and Maya filling his evenings with stories of fantastical sea creatures she dreamed of discovering. One day, a research grant offered a glimmer of hope for Maya's project. However, the research site was a remote island chain, notoriously treacherous and off-limits to most. Dejected, Maya poured her heart out to Finn on the windswept cliffs overlooking the lighthouse. Finn surprised her. "I know the currents around those islands," he said, a determined glint in his eyes. "My grandfather used to sail those waters. I could take you." Maya's initial joy was laced with worry. "But the lighthouse? What about your responsibility?" Finn chuckled, a warm sound that calmed the roiling sea within her. "The light will always be there, Maya. And frankly, the island needs a good marine biologist more than it needs another lighthouse keeper for a few weeks." Their journey was anything but smooth. Storms raged, testing their seamanship and their trust in each other. Yet, through it all, Finn was her rock. He anticipated squalls, navigated treacherous reefs, and soothed her anxieties with quiet jokes and comforting meals. In the evenings, under a sky ablaze with stars, they shared their dreams. Finn confessed his fear of being stuck on land, his yearning for adventure mirroring Maya's. On the island, Maya thrived. Finn, ever the support system, helped build makeshift shelters, gathered supplies, and even became Maya's enthusiastic first mate in her underwater expeditions. They documented a new species of coral, resilient and thriving despite the warming waters. Their research could be a game changer, but as much as the island was a scientific paradise, it was their time together that truly bloomed. They learned a new language, the language of unspoken understanding, shared laughter, and quiet moments of all watching the sunrise paint the ocean gold. Back in Coral Bay, presenting their research to a captivated audience, Maya realized something profound. Her love for the ocean had only deepened, but now it was intertwined with a deeper love, the love for her friend, now a partner on land and at sea. The love that fueled her wasn't just for the coral reefs, but for the man who had held her hand through every storm, both literal and metaphorical. Their newfound love story became a beacon in Coral Bay, a testament to the transformative power of friendship that blossoms into something more. Together, Maya, the passionate scientist, and Finn, the steady lighthouse keeper, would continue their fight for the ocean, their love a guiding light for each other and the world they cherished.
The night air hung heavy with the scent of jasmine as Lena pushed open the creaking screen door. Moonlight, full and pearlescent, bathed the world in an ethereal glow, transforming the dusty road into a shimmering silver ribbon. The village slumbered, save for the occasional chirp of a cricket and the distant howl of a lone dog. Lena, a wisp of a girl with eyes like twilight, felt a familiar pull on her heart. Every full moon, the same yearning tugged at her, a silent invitation to a secret world unveiled only under the moon's watchful gaze. Tonight she couldn't resist. Following a barely there path through the whispering bamboo forest, Lena emerged into a hidden clearing. Here, bathed in the moon's light, stood the banyan of whispers, its ancient branches gnarled and reaching like skeletal arms. Legend whispered of secrets held within the tree, stories carried on the wind by its rustling leaves. Lena sat beneath the banyan, the cool earth a welcome contrast to the warmth of the day. Closing her eyes, she focused on the moon's ethereal glow, feeling a strange sense of belonging. As she did every full moon, she poured her heart out to the silent night, whispering her dreams and fears to the attentive leaves. Tonight, however, something felt different. A soft rustle from above drew her attention. A young man, no older than her, leaned against a branch, his eyes reflecting the moon's gentle light. He smiled, a shy, lopsided grin that sent a warmth through her. His name was Kai, and he confessed to having seen her here under the banyan on other full moon nights. He too felt drawn to the ancient tree, to the magic it held under the moon's gaze. As they talked, the night melted away. They shared their dreams, fears, and a love for the stories whispered by the banyan leaves. As the first rays of dawn peeked through the trees, casting long shadows, Lena knew this was no ordinary encounter. The moonlit night had brought them together, two souls connected by a shared love for the unseen magic of the world. From then on, every full moon found them beneath the banyan of whispers, their friendship deepening under the moon's soft light. They learned the language of the rustling leaves, the secrets held within the ancient tree. The moonlit nights became their sanctuary, a shared world where dreams bloomed and a love story unfolded, whispered on the wind by the banyan of whispers.
The sun beat down mercilessly on Coyote Canyon. Dust devils danced across the cracked earth, mocking the parched earth's thirst. Silas Sagebrush Jones, a man carved from the desert itself, squinted at the horizon. His weathered Stetson barely shaded his sun-baked face, etched with lines deeper than any canyon. Sagebrush wasn't your typical cowboy. Sure, he could rope a steer in record time and navigate by the stars, but unlike his boisterous counterparts, he preferred solitude. He found solace in the vastness of the desert, a silent symphony of wind and sand that spoke to his soul. This particular day, however, broke the desert's usual monotony. A plume of dark smoke rose in the distance, a stark contrast to the clear blue sky. Sagebrush spurred his trusty steed, Apache, towards the trouble. As he neared the smoke, the peaceful tune of the desert morphed into a cacophony of shouts and gunfire. A band of outlaws, led by the notorious Viper Jackson, were ransacking a small homestead. Fear clung to the air as thick as the dust. Sagebrush, despite his solitary nature, couldn't ignore injustice. He drew his trusty Winchester rifle, a worn weapon that spoke with deadly accuracy in his hands. Apache thundered into the fray, a blur of brown against the red earth. The outlaws, surprised by the lone rider's audacity, momentarily faltered. Sagebrush took advantage of the chaos, his shots ringing out like thunder in the canyon. One by one, the outlaws fell, their bravado replaced by fear. Viper, however, was a different story. Cunning and ruthless, he took cover behind the homestead's well, his eyes glinting with a murderous intent. A tense standoff ensued, the only movement the rising dust and the tremor of Sagebrush's heart. Then, a young girl, the homesteader's daughter, darted out from the house, a desperate plea on her face. Her movement was a gamble, a foolish one. Viper wouldn't hesitate. Sagebrush reacted instinctively. He pushed himself off Apache, rolling across the dusty ground as a shot whizzed past his ear. Time seemed to slow down. In that split second, he saw an opening, a sliver of hope. With a balletic grace that belied his weathered exterior, Sagebrush threw his lasso, the rope singing through the air. It snagged Viper's gun, yanking it from his grasp. Before the outlaw could react, Sagebrush was standing there, his Winchester leveled. Viper surrendered, his bravado shattered. The remaining outlaws scattered, melting into the desert landscape like shadows. The homesteaders, shaken but safe, showered Sagebrush with gratitude. The girl, her eyes shining with hero worship, offered him a glass of cool lemonade, the sweetest thing he'd tasted in months. Sagebrush, ever the nomad, couldn't stay long. He tipped his hat, a silent goodbye, and with Apache by his side, rode away into the setting sun.
But as he left Coyote Canyon behind, a flicker of warmth bloomed in his chest, a reminder that even in the heart of the desert, kindness and courage could blossom. His solitary life, it seemed, might not always be so solitary. Perhaps, the melody of the desert was about to gain a new harmony, a soft but persistent echo of a damsel and a hero, forever linked by a moonlit night in Coyote Canyon.
In the neon-drenched metropolis of Neo-Seoul, rain fell in shimmering sheets, reflecting the kaleidoscope of advertisements that plastered every skyscraper. Here, amidst the towering steel and pulsing nightlife, lived Kai, a prodigy hacker with a mischievous glint in his eyes and a thirst for unraveling the city's secrets. Kai wasn't your typical hacker. He wasn't driven by money or notoriety. He hacked for the thrill of the puzzle, the satisfaction of cracking the most intricate firewalls, and the desire to expose the injustices hidden within the city's digital underbelly. One rainy night, while navigating the labyrinthine back alleys of the dark web, Kai stumbled upon a cryptic message. It spoke of a hidden archive, a digital vault containing incriminating data on the powerful Minute Corporation, the company that practically ran Neo-Seoul. The data, if exposed, could bring the entire city to its knees. Intrigued and fueled by his rebellious spirit, Kai decided to crack the vault. But this was no ordinary hack. Layers of sophisticated security guarded the archive, each one a meticulously crafted puzzle. Weeks turned into months, and Kai dove deeper into the digital labyrinth, fueled by instant noodles and copious amounts of caffeine. He wasn't alone. Whispers of his pursuit reached another denizen of the dark web, Anya, a ghost in the machine, a phantom hacker with a reputation for being untouchable. Unlike Kai, Anya was driven by a personal vendetta. The Minute Corporation had wronged her in the past, leaving a scar that festered with every passing day. Intrigued by Kai's tenacity, Anya sent him an anonymous message, offering a cryptic clue to bypass a particularly complex firewall. Kai, surprised but grateful, accepted the help. A hesitant partnership blossomed through coded messages and anonymous file transfers. They learned to trust each other, their skills complementing each other's perfectly. As they chipped away at the vault's defenses, fragments of the Minute Corporation's corrupt practices began to surface: environmental exploitation, illegal labor practices, and a web of political manipulation. The truth was far worse than they could have imagined. But their progress wasn't unnoticed. The Minute Corporation, alerted by the attempted breach, unleashed their own formidable team of cyber warriors. Kai and Anya found themselves under siege, their identities at risk. A desperate chase ensued through the neon-lit streets and the hidden pathways of the dark web. Kai, using his hacking skills to reroute traffic signals and disable cameras, led them a merry chase. Anya, her coder weapon of unparalleled precision, disabled the corporation's attempts to track them down. The climax came atop the tallest skyscraper in Neo-Seoul, the Minute Corporation's gleaming headquarters. Cornered, Kai and Anya had a choice: escape with the data or expose it to the world and risk capture. In a display of defiance, they made their stand. With a synchronized flourish, they unleashed the data onto the city's digital grid. Screens flickered, news channels erupted in chaos, and the city's population watched in disbelief as the Minute Corporation's crimes were laid bare. The fallout was immense. The Minute Corporation crumbled, its executives hunted by the authorities. Kai and Anya, however, remained ghosts. Their identities remained a mystery, a legend whispered in the shadows of the dark web. But their victory came at a cost. The city, thrown into turmoil, faced a period of uncertainty. Yet, amidst the chaos, there was hope. A spark had been ignited, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the digital world, courage and rebellion could prevail. Kai and Anya, forever changed by their experience, knew their fight wasn't over. Neo-Seoul, with its dazzling lights and hidden secrets, was a city that needed them. And so, they faded back into the shadows, watchful guardians of the digital frontier, ready to face whatever challenges lurked in the neon-drenched labyrinth of Neo-Seoul. In the bustling market town of Saffron Haven, nestled amidst rolling hills and vibrant orchards, lived a young boy named Finn. With eyes the color of sunlit wheat and hair the shade of spun gold, Finn was known for his infectious smile and an even more remarkable characteristic: his unwavering honesty. Finn's parents, humble farmers, instilled in him the value of truthfulness from a young age. Every morning, before setting off to tend their fields, they'd remind him, a good name is more valuable than gold, Finn. Always speak the truth, even when it's hard. One scorching summer afternoon, Finn was helping his father deliver a cartload of plump, juicy apples to the market. The air hung heavy with the scent of ripe fruit and the chatter of vendors. As they reached their stall, a commotion erupted nearby. A young woman, her face streaked with tears, was accusing a flamboyant fruit vendor of cheating her. She claimed she'd paid for a pound of cherries, but the bag she received seemed suspiciously light. The vendor, a portly man with a booming voice, boisterously denied any wrongdoing. The crowd, used to such squabbles, watched with a detached amusement. But Finn, his sense of justice ignited, felt a knot form in his stomach. He knew what he had to do. He tugged at his father's sleeve and, in a small voice, said, "Father, I saw him." He switched the bags after she paid. His father, a gruff but kind man, looked at him with a conflicted expression. Honesty was important, but causing trouble in the marketplace wasn't ideal. Seeing his hesitation, Finn blurted out, "But father, remember what you always say." His father sighed and gave him a reassuring nod. With newfound determination, Finn marched towards the commotion. Standing on his tiptoes, barely reaching the counter, he addressed the crowd. He switched the bags. "I saw him do it." All eyes turned towards him, surprised by the small boy's outburst. The vendor's face reddened with anger, but before he could retort, Finn's father stepped forward. Taking his son's hand, he addressed the crowd. "He speaks the truth. My son doesn't lie." Grumbling apologies, the vendor produced a new bag of cherries, overflowing with plump fruit. The woman beamed her thanks at Finn, her tears replaced with a grateful smile. News of Finn's honesty spread like wildfire throughout Saffron Haven. Soon, his reputation preceded him. People started seeking him out to settle their disputes, knowing he would tell the truth, even if it meant uncovering a slight or uncovering a hidden mistake. Though sometimes it meant getting into trouble himself, Finn never regretted his honesty. He learned that truth, even when inconvenient, built trust and fostered a sense of fairness. People began treating each other with more respect, knowing that a watchful eye, guided by honesty, ensured fair play in the bustling market town. Years later, when Finn grew into a strong young man, Saffron Haven became renowned for its honesty. The marketplace, once a source of bickering, now hummed with a sense of camaraderie. All thanks to a small boy named Finn, who dared to speak his truth, reminding everyone that a good name, indeed, was more valuable than gold.
In the quaint seaside town of Whispering Bay, nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling harbor, lived a ginger cat named Marmalade. Unlike his feline brethren who reveled in napping in sunbeams and chasing dust motes, Marmalade possessed an insatiable curiosity that propelled him on grand adventures. Marmalade belonged to Amelia, a sprightly old woman with a heart as warm as her freshly baked cookies. Amelia adored Marmalade, but his adventurous spirit often landed him in precarious situations. From scaling precarious bookshelves to investigating the mysteries lurking beneath the refrigerator, Marmalade's exploits were legendary in Whispering Bay. One crisp autumn morning, the scent of adventure wafted into Marmalade's whiskers. A new family had moved in next door, and a captivating aroma of exotic spices filled the air. Curiosity gnawed at him, and Marmalade, never one to resist a challenge, squeezed through a hole in the fence, determined to unravel the source of the enticing smell. He found himself in a dazzling garden unlike any he'd seen before. Lush, fragrant plants he didn't recognize swayed in the breeze, and a vibrant blue house, adorned with intricate carvings, stood proudly in the center. A young girl with eyes like polished obsidian sat on the porch steps, surrounded by colorful spices. Intrigued, Marmalade cautiously approached. The girl, named Amora, didn't shoo him away as he expected. Instead, she smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. In a voice as soft as the rustling leaves, she spoke to him in a language he didn't understand, but the warmth in her tone was unmistakable. From that day on, Marmalade found himself drawn to Amora's garden. He'd sit by her side, watching her sort spices, their language barrier somehow bridged by their shared love for the vibrant garden. Amora, in turn, shared stories of faraway lands where these spices originated, stories that filled Marmalade's imagination with images of bustling markets and towering trees heavy with exotic fruits. One day, a fierce storm descended upon Whispering Bay. Wind howled, rain lashed against windows, and waves crashed angrily against the harbor walls. Marmalade, curled up at Amelia's feet, felt a pang of worry for Amora. He knew her blue house was old and might not withstand the storm's fury. With a determined meow, he alerted Amelia, who understood his concern immediately. Together, they braved the storm, the wind tugging at Amelia's scarf and rain chilling Marmalade to the bone. Reaching Amora's house, they found a loose roof tile allowing the rain to pour in. Without hesitation, Amelia, a skilled carpenter in her youth, climbed onto the roof and secured the tile. Inside, Marmalade, using his agility, nudged a heavy rug closer to Amora, who sat shivering by the window. When the storm subsided, revealing a sky washed clean and sparkling, a sense of deep gratitude filled the air. Amora, her family, and Amelia shared a warm meal, their bond strengthened by the shared experience. Marmalade, nestled between Amelia and Amora, purred contentedly. His adventurous spirit had not only led him to a new friend but had also fostered a connection between two families, all thanks to the alluring aroma of spices and a ginger cat with a heart full of curiosity. From then on, Marmalade's adventures took on a new dimension. He explored the world not just with his own eyes but with Amora by his side, their friendship a testament to the power of curiosity and the unexpected connections it could forge.
In a world cloaked in perpetual twilight, nestled amongst towering bioluminescent fungi, lived Alara, a young botanist unlike any other. Unlike her kin who tended to the colossal fungi for sustenance, Alara yearned to explore the forgotten corners of their subterranean world, the Gloomhaven. Legends spoke of a time before the eternal twilight, a time when sunlight bathed the world in warmth. Alara scoffed at such tales, yet a seed of doubt lingered within her. Why were the bioluminescent fungi the only source of light? What lay beyond the vast caverns they called home? One day, while venturing deeper than any before her, Alara stumbled upon a hidden chamber. Inside, she found a peculiar device, a crystal sphere that pulsed with a faint inner light. Driven by curiosity, she touched it. The world dissolved into a blinding flash. When Alara regained her vision, she found herself in a world bathed in golden sunlight. Lush green meadows stretched as far as the eye could see, vibrant flowers bloomed in profusion, and a cerulean sky stretched above. Tears welled up in her eyes. It was real. The legends were true, but this breathtaking world wasn't uninhabited. Strange, winged creatures soared through the sky, and furry mammals scurried through the undergrowth. Alara, with her knowledge of fungi and bioluminescence, found herself surprisingly adept at navigating this new world. She befriended a wise old owl named Luna, who revealed that the crystal sphere Alara held was a key to an ancient portal. It could transport her back and forth between the Gloomhaven and the sunlit world, now known as Lumina. Alara knew she couldn't keep this discovery to herself. She returned to the Gloomhaven, the crystal sphere radiating a newfound warmth. Skepticism turned into awe as she revealed Lumina. Hope, long forgotten, flickered in the eyes of her people. Alara became a bridge between the two worlds. She taught the Gloomhaveners about Lumina's flora and fauna, and in return, learned about the technology that once powered their world before its descent into twilight. Slowly, a plan emerged. Using their combined knowledge, the Gloomhaveners started cultivating bioluminescent fungi that could harness sunlight from Lumina. They developed devices that converted the light into a usable energy source. Slowly, the Gloomhaven began to glow with an artificial warmth, mimicking the long-lost sunlight. Alara, the curious botanist, had become a beacon of hope. Her thirst for exploration had not only revealed a lost world, but also paved the way for a brighter future for her own. The Gloomhaven and Lumina, once separate worlds, were now connected by a single, luminous sphere, a testament to Alara's courage and the boundless possibilities that bloomed from curiosity.
In the bustling marketplace of Marrakech, amidst the cacophony of haggling vendors and the intoxicating aroma of spices, lived a young boy named Samir. Unlike the other children who effortlessly weaved through the labyrinthine alleys, Samir felt lost. He yearned to decipher the cryptic English signs adorning shops, to understand the tourists chattering excitedly around him. Samir's family ran a humble carpet stall, their business struggling against larger, English-speaking competitors. His parents, though loving, dismissed English as unnecessary, a relic of colonialism. But Samir saw it differently. English, he believed, was a key, a gateway to a world of opportunity beyond the dusty confines of the marketplace. One day, a group of American tourists approached their stall. Samir's parents, unable to understand their requests, grew flustered. But Samir, emboldened by his secret lessons gleaned from discarded textbooks, stepped forward. With a hesitant smile, he greeted them in English. The tourists, surprised and relieved, peppered him with questions about the carpets. Samir, his confidence growing with each sentence, described the intricate patterns, the rich history woven into each thread. The tourists, impressed by his knowledge and charm, bought not just one carpet, but several. As they left, they slipped Samir a worn English dictionary, a silent encouragement for his pursuit of knowledge. The incident ignited a spark within Samir. He devoured the dictionary, deciphering each word with a fervor that rivaled his love for the vibrant colors of the carpets. He practiced with the few English-speaking tourists who ventured to their stall, his vocabulary growing with each interaction. Soon, Samir's English proficiency became a beacon for their struggling business. He attracted new customers, translating their needs to his parents and showcasing the carpets with a newfound eloquence. Other struggling vendors, witnessing his success, sought his help, and Samir, ever generous, became an unofficial translator, bridging the language gap in the marketplace. News of Samir's talent reached the ears of a local tour guide. Impressed by his fluency and knowledge of the city's history, the guide offered him a part-time job. Samir, torn between his family's business and this exciting opportunity, confided in his parents. To his surprise, his parents, touched by his dedication and witnessing the positive impact English had on their lives, encouraged him to take the job. They realized that the language Samir had yearned to learn wasn't a symbol of colonialism, but a bridge to a brighter future. Samir thrived as a tour guide, his English not only providing a living but also fostering friendships with people from all corners of the globe. He became a living testament to the power of language, a boy who unlocked a world of opportunity with the key of English. His story resonated throughout Marrakech. Parents who had once dismissed English as unnecessary began enrolling their children in English classes. The marketplace, once a symbol of isolation, transformed into a vibrant hub of cultural exchange, all thanks to a young boy's thirst for knowledge and the importance of a single language, English.
Amora, a young sculptor with fiery red hair and eyes the color of the stormy sea, was consumed by ambition. Her hands, calloused but nimble, yearned to leave their mark on the world. She envisioned her sculptures gracing grand museums, admired by throngs for their raw emotion and intricate detail. Every waking moment was dedicated to her craft. She chipped away at marble, wrestled with bronze, and poured her soul into each creation. Sleep was a luxury she rarely indulged in, fueled by an insatiable hunger for recognition. One day, a prestigious art competition announced its theme, the essence of life. Amora saw her chance. She envisioned a colossal sculpture, a symphony of human forms intertwined, depicting the struggles and triumphs of existence. Months blurred into a whirlwind of activity. Amora toiled day and night, fueled by coffee and sheer determination. Ignoring the pleas of her worried friends, she neglected her health and well-being, her sole focus the competition. Finally, the day arrived. Amora unveiled her masterpiece, a towering, imposing sculpture that captivated the audience with its sheer scale. But amidst the initial gasps, a silence fell. The judges, their faces stoic, seemed underwhelmed. Dejected and heartbroken, Amora received no commendation. As the winner, a frail old man, was announced, a wave of despair washed over her. His entry, a simple clay pot with a single blooming flower, radiated an understated beauty that resonated deeply. Later, Amora, tears stinging her eyes, approached the old man. "Why," she croaked, "how could a simple flower win over my grand creation?" The old man smiled gently. "Young one," he said, life isn't just about grand gestures. It's the quiet moments, the subtle beauty hidden in plain sight. You were so focused on creating a masterpiece that you forgot to capture the essence of life itself. Amora's heart sank. He was right. In her relentless pursuit of grandeur, she had overlooked the simple beauty that surrounded her. The shared laughter with friends, the warmth of the sun on her skin, the quiet miracle of a blooming flower, these, she realized, were the true essence of life. The competition became a turning point for Amora. She returned to her studio, not with a renewed fervor for grandiosity, but with a newfound appreciation for the simple. Her sculptures, while smaller in scale, now resonated with a quiet beauty, capturing the fleeting moments of joy and sorrow that made up life. Amora's life lesson, etched in the lines of her sculptures, was a reminder that true art wasn't just about technical skill or grand displays. It was about capturing the essence of life, the beauty found in the mundane, the joy in the ordinary, and the significance of every fleeting moment.
In the neon-drenched heart of Neo-Tokyo, where towering skyscrapers scraped the clouds, lived Anya, a gifted mechanic with a secret past. By day, she tinkered with dented droids and faulty flying cars in her grease-streaked garage. By night, she was known as Ghost, a notorious hacker who flitted through the city's digital underbelly, exposing corruption in the powerful tech corporations that ran the city. One rainy night, a mysterious package arrived at her garage. Inside, nestled amongst packing peanuts, was a deactivated prototype robot unlike anything Anya had ever seen. Its sleek metallic frame hinted at unknown capabilities. A single word etched on its chest, Aisha, fueled Anya's curiosity. Who built this machine? Why was it abandoned? Driven by a sense of justice and a thirst for answers, Anya reactivated Aisha. The once dormant machine whirred to life, its glowing blue eyes locking onto Anya. But Aisha wasn't just a robot, she possessed a strange sentience and a fragmented memory of a past mission gone wrong. Together, Anya and Aisha embarked on a thrilling quest to uncover the truth behind Aisha's creation and the conspiracy it hinted at. Their path led them through treacherous virtual landscapes patrolled by corporate security AIS, into the opulent high-rises of the elite, and even into the shadowy dealings of the black market. Along the way, they uncover a plot by the CEO of a powerful corporation to develop an army of robots to control the city. Anya and Aisha must join forces with a ragtag group of rebels who fight for a free Neo-Tokyo, using Anya's hacking skills and Aisha's combat prowess to dismantle the corporation's plans and save the city from a dystopian future. This is just the beginning. Will Anya and Aisha succeed in their mission? What dark secrets are hidden in Aisha's past? This is a story of friendship, rebellion, and the fight for a brighter future in a world teetering on the edge.
King Alaric wasn't your typical king. He wasn't born of noble blood, nor raised in the stifling opulence of the palace. Alaric was a blacksmith, his hands more accustomed to the fiery heart of a forge than a jeweled scepter. Fate, however, had a cruel sense of humor. When a monstrous wyvern, with wings that blotted out the sun and claws that could rend stone, descended upon the kingdom, its fiery breath scorching the land, the previous king fell in its first rampage. Panic gripped the people. The royal line was fractured, leaving no clear heir. In that desperate hour, a prophecy whispered from forgotten scrolls resurfaced. The prophecy spoke of an unforged king, a leader who would rise from the common folk and slay the beast. With no other choice, the people turned to Alaric. He, covered in soot and grime, stood before them, a most unlikely hero. But Alaric, though a simple man, had a heart of gold. He couldn't abandon his people. Thus began Alaric's unorthodox reign. He ruled from a makeshift throne in the very forge where he'd spent his life. He held court amidst the clanging of hammers and the hiss of quenching steel. His advisors were not just nobles but experienced hunters and scholars who delved into ancient texts to find the wyvern's weakness. Alaric, however, knew brute force wouldn't be enough. He spent countless hours poring over dusty scrolls, his calloused fingers tracing forgotten diagrams. He devised a contraption, a massive metal contraption forged from the kingdom's finest ore, designed to trap the wyvern and expose its underbelly, its most vulnerable point. The day of the final confrontation arrived. Alaric, clad not in shining armor but in fire-resistant leather, stood beside his contraption, a resolute figure against the looming shadow of the wyvern. The battle raged. The beast tore through the kingdom's defenses, but Alaric's trap held. He lured the wyvern in, the metallic jaws snapping shut with a resounding clang. In that moment of vulnerability, the king, with a blacksmith's hammer imbued with the hopes of his people, struck true, slaying the beast. King Alaric, the unforged king, became a legend. He ruled not with a crown of jewels, but with the respect he had earned through courage, ingenuity, and a heart that beat for his people. His reign ushered in an era of peace and prosperity, a testament to the fact that a true king can rise from the most unexpected places.
Maria wasn't wealthy, but her pockets were always overflowing with sunshine and stories. A single mom raising two energetic boys, Daniel and Leo, in a cramped apartment, she wove magic from ordinary days. Daniel, the elder at 10, was a hurricane of curiosity. Every why was a springboard to fantastical explanations. Maria, with a twinkle in her eye, would tell him the squirrels hid nuts in the park to build flying contraptions, and the grumpy old man next door was a retired superhero. Leo, the 6-year-old, was a cuddle bug with a wild imagination. He believed fireflies whispered secrets to the moon and his stuffed dinosaur, Rex, could roar away their troubles. Maria nurtured his dreams, letting him turn the living room into a T-Rex training ground and crafting crowns from cardboard to fuel his dinosaur king fantasies. Their apartment, though small, held an abundance of love. Every night, Maria would gather them for story time under the stars, a ritual born out of a leaky roof one rainy night. They'd huddle under a giant bedsheet draped over the couch, flashlights creating a constellation of their own. Maria, with a voice that could soothe dragons, would weave tales of brave princesses and talking animals, each story a secret message of courage, kindness, and resilience. Money was tight. But Maria, a magician with a needle and thread, could transform old clothes into superhero capes and princess gowns. She baked birthday cakes from scratch, turning them into pirate ships and racetracks with frosting and candies. Their home, though humble, overflowed with laughter, the most precious treasure of all. One day, Daniel overheard a classmate talking about weekend trips to the beach. His face fell. Maria, sensing his disappointment, didn't dismiss his yearning. Instead, that evening, they transformed their living room into a beach. Blue sheets became the ocean, towels were sandcastles, and a bucket of water became a shimmering sea. They laughed, built sandcastles, and told stories, creating their own beach paradise right there in their tiny apartment. Maria wasn't a perfect mom, she burnt dinner sometimes, and her patience wore thin on occasion. But her love was a constant, a warm hug on a cold day, a beacon in the storm. She showed her boys that true wealth resided in love, imagination, and the extraordinary woven into the ordinary. Daniel and Leo, growing up under the warmth of her love, knew they were rich beyond measure, and that their good mom was the greatest treasure they could ever have.